Have you ever been in a situation where you thought that your advice is very much needed and appreciated? Well, let me tell you something. It's not always the case, and unsolicited advice can actually hurt rather than help some people. Hello and welcome back. In this video, we're gonna talk over how you should really keep your mouth shut. Not all the time, most of the time. You really should keep your mouth shut and not necessarily express your opinion. And I'll tell you why. First and foremost, you are forcing your perspective onto someone that can actually do more harm than good. Think of it this way. You have your life experience and you are caught in the same situation as the person who had their different life experience. So their approach to a particular situation, to how to deal with it, is gonna be 360 degrees different from what your approach will be. And you, by giving advice and actually speaking up, is not gonna necessarily give them that peace and that sense of calmness. Oh, I know what to do now. It just might trigger them. It just might bring up maybe some kind of past trauma. So before you even give an advice and before you actually open your mouth to speak, you gotta really know what the person is going through and what is their background, because you don't know whether or not what you say is gonna just do more damage. Another thing that it's really important to do is ask, because if someone wants your advice and if they are mature enough to ask for it, they will ask for it. For example, if my teens are coming to me and they start talking and they start telling me a story, I stop them in their tracks and I ask them, do you want to vent or do you need my advice? And usually they tell me, oh, I just want to tell you what happened, or yeah, can you tell me your opinion or your point of view, not necessarily advice. So always ask. There is no shame in asking. Maybe someone just wants to vent. Maybe someone just wants to hear their story or what they're going through out loud for them to be able to analyze it that much better. So you're just an innocent bystander. You're not necessarily there to actually speak up and put your 5 cents in. One approach is you can actually brainstorm with that person without getting into the listen to my advice mode. You can actually brainstorm. You can take a piece of paper, a pen, and you can talk it out. If the situation unfolds this way, what do we do? If the situation unfolds this way, what do we do? That's gonna give that much more of a grown-up approach to whoever is venting to you, to whoever is confiding into you. They're gonna understand, oh, I am being heard. I am not necessarily being advised what to do or told what to do. So brainstorming is another great approach into actually helping someone. Do your best to be empathetic. Don't necessarily be judgmental. Oh, I would have never done that. Or, oh, how could he or she end up in this situation? Only because we don't know what the logic was behind any particular decision that was made by someone who is in a bad place. You cannot be judging because you don't know how you would have acted in that particular situation. So by being empathetic, we're gonna actually tone down that judgmental voice and hear the other person and maybe have a much clearer idea how to respond, even give a piece of advice or how to brainstorm or how to actually help. So don't judge, tone it down. Lack of information. Maybe you don't know the whole story, and if you do wanna help and if you do wanna give advice, then make sure that you listen to all of the information that pertains to that particular situation, just so you are not half informed and then you're gonna make a half informed decision or you're gonna give a half informed advice. Timing is really important. Make sure that you know that that person is emotionally stable and not on the verge of a breakdown before you start giving out advice, because you don't know what other drama or what other damage you can do by giving your advice. So timing is very, very important. Maybe 2 days later, they will be that much more willing to hear you out. But if you see that someone is really breaking down in front of you, that's not the time to actually put them more down and give them like a 1 to 10 steps of what to do next. Sometimes people just need someone to hear them. Your opinion might be influenced by your own bias, so make sure you are not biased. Make sure you are as neutral as possible. Maybe you have different beliefs. You were raised in a different environment, in a different country. So make sure you're not biased and have all your facts straight up before you open your mouth and actually say something back. Power dynamics. Giving unsolicited advice can sometimes come across as, oh, you trying to control the situation, or it's your way of asserting power. You know, as a parent, when you give advice to your child, make sure it's not based on power and you trying to control the situation. Make sure that it's actually based on something that you truly believe and truly think. So stay away from that desire to overpower the person or to overpower your teens or your children if you are giving them an advice. Take a step back and zoom out and give an actual proper advice. Unwanted obligation. The person who you are advising can feel obligated of following your advice because maybe you are a person of authority, maybe you have a good track record and they trust you, even if in their gut they think that it's a wrong advice. So by giving advice, always make sure that you end your sentence with, this is my opinion, this is solely based on what I think. But you should really trust your gut, your feelings, and you should really, in the end, decide on your own what's the best outcome for you and what's the best next step for you. Always make sure you say that so people don't feel like they owe you something and they need to follow your advice. Active listening is the key. By nodding your head, by agreeing, by saying yes, you are encouraging the other person to confide in you, to open up, and maybe you're gonna get more facts straight in order for you to be able to actually give a proper advice, a good advice, a smart advice. So make sure you are actually actively listening and not listening just to reply. Another really important point is make sure you are being honest and you're not telling the other person what they want to hear. Respect their autonomy. Don't assume that you know what's best for them, but make sure that you are being honest and putting true intentions towards your answer, not just to answer just to like close up the conversation and close up the topic and move on. Be honest, because further down the line, that person can get back to you and tell you, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you like slap me on the face and tell me to snap out of it? So make sure you are as honest as you can. But on the other hand, and there's always, the bad and the good, tell them that you are going to be brutally honest and ask them, do you want to hear the truth or do you want me to sugarcoat it for you? Because maybe, again, going back to timing, maybe it's not the time to tell them the full truth, and maybe that is the moment for you to actually just be compassionate and be supportive. And maybe 3 days, 4 days, 5 days down the line, you can actually sit them down and say, you know what? Now it's the time that you are kind of calm down. Now you can hear the actual truth and my actual opinion about the certain situation. Offer support and validation rather than trying to fix the problem. Validate the problem. Tell them, yes, it happens to people. I understand this is what you're going through. Don't just disregard, it's gonna pass. Everyone is going through this. No, each and one of us has our own unique set of problems that we're dealing on a daily basis. So don't disregard someone's feelings. And maybe for you, it seems like a very minor problem. For someone, it's a big problem. So validation is the key. Make sure you validate their feelings. Support and be positive every time when you end the conversation. And you don't have to say some trivial things, but actually give them examples from your own life, from your own experience, from maybe your friends have gone through the same thing, so they can actually understand that your opinion and your advice comes from a place of knowledge, not just from somewhere that you thought at the moment. So by being positive, always end any conversation with someone who is confiding into you. If you want to say something, if you want to actually give advice, better give positive reinforcement than advice. Positive reinforcement really does help. Thank you very much for following. Thank you very much for watching. Please do share with me, did you have those moments when you thought, oh man, I should have kept my mouth shut, or you sugarcoated something for a friend or for your children or for whoever? Please do comment down below. I'll make sure to answer. Other than that, stay healthy, stay sane, and watch this video. I'm gonna link it here. It's about how to improve your teenager self-esteem, and I will see you next time.